Salvete discipuli discipuli. So today we are going to be going over declensions. Yes, I know your very favorite thing in the whole wide world. Declensions are extremely important. You won't be able to learn Latin or speak Latin without them. So let's get started. What is a declension? Declension refers to the organization of nouns, pronouns, and adjectives. They all use pretty much the same endings. There's always a few exceptions, but you know Latin is a very specific language. Even the exceptions follow a lot of the same rules. So, declensions are organized based on the different endings for each noun. Every declension follows the exact same set of endings, and every noun in a particular declension will always match. What is included in a declension? Declensions are made up of cases. We use 7. 5 are extremely common. Those are nominative, genitive, dative, accusative, and ablative. The other two, vocative and locative, are not as common. Vocative is direct address. So if you are directly speaking someone's name, the most famous example is Julius Caesar saying et tu, Brute. Now he's talking to a guy named Brutus, but he calls him Brute. That is the use of the vocative. Locative shows location. So when you are learning your declension endings, the only time you will see locative is with certain location names. It's not used very commonly. Those of you in Latin 1 and 2, you probably haven't even seen it yet. So as for the other cases, nominative always shows the subject of a sentence or a phrase. Genitive demonstrates possession. Dative is the indirect object. Often you see a preposition plus dat in your glossary. It means that particular preposition prefers the dative ending of a noun. Accusative, you will learn very, very quickly. That is the direct object of a sentence, and there are a multitude of prepositions that take an accusative object as well. Finally, there is the ablative. That is the object of the preposition whenever it's not dative or accusative. Moving on. First declension. First declension is easy to remember because it's usually got an A somewhere in it. First declension is typically feminine. There are a few exceptions. Professions like nauta or poeta, meaning sailor or poet. Some examples are puella, meaning girl, mensa, meaning table, and villa, meaning house. For adjectives, these are usually feminine adjectives. They are only used for first and second declension adjectives. They will appear in the glossary of your textbook or your dictionary, like lightus with the endings meaning it can take the endings of laita or laitum. Whenever you see laita, it means it can take any possible first declension ending. Same thing with an adjective like pulcher, which transforms into pulchra or pulchrum. What you're seeing on your screen right now, these are the first declension endings. I'm not going to go through the pronunciation. I just want you to see the chart and get used to them. If you're not sure how they sound, talk to your local Latin teacher. For second declension, these words are typically masculine or neuter. Masculine will end in R or US, like puer, discipulus, or kibus. And your neuter nouns will end in UM, like malum, meaning apple, atrium, or chylum. As for adjectives, same thing as first declension. First or second declension adjectives as they're called. Again, lightus in this case, masculine would be the lightus and the pulcher, and neuter would be lightum or pulchrum. Your second declension endings look like this. Again, not going to go through the pronunciations. Please notice though, there are a few that are slightly different. Locative is different in the neuter, and most importantly, and this is a pattern that's going to repeat, nominative and accusative always have the same ending when they are neuter. So notice in the singular, it's for the nominative and for the accusative. In the plural, it changes to an A for both. Now, the most common declension you're going to see is third declension. These nouns can be masculine, feminine, or neuter. Masculine and feminine typically follow the same endings, and neuter as always, nominative and accusative will match. Third declension does not have any giveaway endings, like first declension or second declension. It can end in any letter of the alphabet. The most common, however, are R, O, S, and X. But again, it can be anything at once. As for the adjectives, again, masculine, feminine, or neuter, these endings can only be used for third declension adjectives, which also can end in any letter of the alphabet. Third declension adjectives, just like first and second declension, will appear in your glossary with 3 endings. Again, follows the pattern of masculine, feminine, neuter in order. So tristis is both masculine and feminine. It would go to triste for the neuter. Audax is audax for everybody, and acer goes to acris, nacre. These are your third declension endings. Again, nominative singular can end in any letter. If you're ever trying to determine whether or not a word is third declension, look at its genitive singular. It should always go right to is. Notice, again, nominative and accusative are the exact same for neuter nouns. Fourth declension. Oh yeah, it doesn't stop at 3. We go right on to 5. Fourth declension can also be masculine, feminine, or neuter. These can be easily confused with second declension because the masculine and feminine end in us. The only way you can tell is to go to the genitive singular, where it goes to us, or long us. The neuter nouns end in au, like cornu and genu. There aren't very many of them. Your fourth declension endings look like what's up on your screen right now. Again, notice neuter, nominative, and accusative, exactly the same. There is no locative case for fourth declension, so that's one fewer case for you to have to worry about. And so today, ladies and gents, we are going to end with fifth declension. Fifth declension is typically feminine. There are a few examples like dies and meridies, meaning day and midday. Typically, fifth declension ends in es. There aren't very many fifth declension words either. Most of the Latin vocabulary you will learn is between first, second, and third. That's why we address those right away in Latin 1. Your fifth declension endings are as follows. Again, notice no locative here. So, ladies and gents, I hope this was an excellent review for you of your declensions, what they're used for, what they look like, and what to expect from them. Hope to maybe not see you, but maybe hear from you again soon. Have a great day. Valete discipuli et discipuli.